The wellness industry promotes many treatments that claim to come from ancient traditions. Take, for example, Gua Sha. It's sold usually in the form of a jade-like stone, and it's supposed to remove puffiness from our faces. Jonathan Jarry is with the McGill Office for Science and Society. Hi, Jonathan.
Hi.
So, Gua Sha comes from China, and it is said that it dates back nearly 2,000 years.
Yeah, usually when I hear this, it turns out that it's an exaggeration, but in this case, it does appear to be true. Although just because something has been used for a long time does not mean that it has health benefits. Bloodletting was used in Europe for centuries, and with rare exceptions, it doesn't work. But gua sha is old. The word gua means scraping or scratching, while sha means a number of things, including a red raised rash. And this is in reference to the bruises that happen under the skin during the procedure. So you gua until you see sha. That is gua sha. And of course, it's meant to cure everything.
Where does this belief originate, Jonathan?
So, different cultures on Earth have tried in the past to understand illnesses, and gua sha comes from the idea that we have a life force called qi, for which I can say that there's zero scientific evidence, but we have qi, and when our qi stagnates, we need to get it going again. And gua sha is one way of doing this by taking a stone like this one and scraping the oiled up skin of the person who is ill to the point of generating bruises.
There are no tests, though, to indicate that this works.
Well, there are studies of it. None of them are convincing to me. There's no way to compare this to a placebo because you know if someone is rubbing a hard piece of stone against your skin or if they aren't. If it does do anything temporarily, it's as a sort of distraction, what we call a counter-irritant. So if you stub your toe, what do? You rub it, and that sensation hopefully overrides the pain itself, at least temporarily.
And I guess as unpleasant as it also sounds, it can also carry the risk of infection, right, if it's not done properly?
Yes, because even though the resulting bruises are under the skin, someone doing gua sha can inadvertently break the skin. And if the stone they use is not sterilized in between patients, it can carry bloodborne infections from one patient to the next. And there are case reports in the literature of that happening. Also, those bruises can be so bad, and I can't even show you some of these photos because the bodies look like crime scenes, that healthcare professionals who see them have sometimes thought the patient was a victim of physical abuse. So there are many papers in the medical literature reminding healthcare professionals that if the bruises that they see are straight and they move away from the spine and they're on both sides of the body, and the patient is from East Asia or Southeast Asia, it might be gua sha and not abuse.
Now, the modern version of this that's promoted by all kinds of influencers, that's very different, though, isn't it?
Yeah, so I've seen many young people on TikTok and Instagram use a stone like this, and they do gua sha on their skin to remove puffiness. It's not gua sha because the actual practice would generate the kinds of bruises on their faces that they wouldn't want to have. They're applying a very light touch. I suspect it's not doing much. When you're young and you have great skin, it's easy to convince yourself that brushing your skin lightly with a stone made you look slimmer, but I think it's mostly in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, so it's always, think twice before buying things from influencers, right? Often when a lot of these claims just don't seem to make any good sense.
Yeah, I think that's a great motto in general, and be wary of exotic health practices that are repackaged in the West as if they come from ancient wisdom. It's a bit racist, and usually these things don't work.
Okay, thank you very much for this, Jonathan.
Thanks for having me.